Okay, so this time you really
Oh, yeah.
piled on the Quabbalah stuff.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not just like an
Oh.
overview or history.
Mm-hmm.
You've given us some
Yeah.
deep, deep dives here.
It's pretty intense.
It is like esoteric practices and stuff.
Mm.
And we're using as our main guide here
Okay.
The Key to the True Quabbalah
Right.
by Franz Bardon.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems like what you're interested in is like
Okay.
less about like the concepts of Quabbalah,
Right.
but like how they're applied practically.
Yeah, the actual like doing it stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's what we're
That's what we're diving into.
That's what we're diving into.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's really interesting that you know, we're kind of using this as a treasure map. You know what I mean? We're gonna unearth like all of the secrets of Quabbalah and really dive deep from like the basics all the way to like, who knows, maybe even learning how to speak the cosmic language or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the basics,
Okay.
Bardon makes a really interesting point right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
He says there's a big difference between just reading about Quabbalah and actually like living it.
Right.
You know, knowledge is one thing.
Sure.
But wisdom.
Yeah.
That comes from the actual work.
The application, yeah.
The application.
That makes sense.
It's like he says, you know, here's the recipe, but you have to bake the cake yourself.
Right, yeah. And I think that speaks to his whole thing about personal responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, look, this isn't just like some instant enlightenment package. It's a journey, and it's up to you to walk the path.
Yep. And speaking of paths,
he
talks about how a lot of the ancient theologies had sort of two sides to them. You know, there's the stuff that everybody knows, the exoteric knowledge, but then there's like this esoteric knowledge that was reserved for a select few.
Oh,
it's like
kind of like a VIP section for
yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
And that included like true magic and Quabbalah.
Okay.
And you know, part of the reason it was kept secret was, you know, to prevent misuse.
Sure.
And also to like maintain authority.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting. Yeah, imagine being part of like that.
Oh, I know.
Inner circle, right? Like privy to this knowledge that most people could only dream of.
Okay, so we've got this secret knowledge, this ancient wisdom. Where does something like the tarot fit into all this?
Well, he dives deep into the symbolism of the third tarot card.
Okay.
Which is often associated with like creativity and bringing ideas to life, or, you know, manifesting things. And he connects this card to the 10 Quabbalistic keys.
All right.
The Sephiroth.
Okay.
And these represent these fundamental forces of creation.
Okay.
So picture it this way. Like, these forces are like the building blocks of the universe, and they operate on like a microcosmic and macrocosmic level.
So they influence everything.
Yeah.
From our individual lives to like the cosmos.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, how do we tap into these forces?
Right. So here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
He talks about learning the Quabbalistic letters. Like, we learned our ABCs as kids.
Right.
Like learning to speak this, what he calls cosmic language. And he says when you express this language, it's not just like an intellectual exercise. It's about like your whole personality, your entire being aligning with these universal principles.
So it's like you become a conduit.
Exactly.
For these cosmic forces.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's powerful stuff.
It's like you're not just speaking words. You're shaping reality.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And he keeps coming back to this idea of the importance of the number 4 in all of this. You know? Think about it. 4 elements.
Right.
4 cardinal directions. Even 4 divine features. Omnipotence, wisdom, love, and immortality.
Right.
It's like this number is a key to unlocking like the secrets of manifestation and stability.
It's funny, I never thought about it like that before.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Like these seemingly simple numbers can hold such profound meaning.
Totally.
Okay, so we're starting to understand this cosmic language.
Right.
These powerful numbers.
Yeah.
What about practices like mantra yoga?
Okay, well, mantra yoga is a really interesting practice, and it's found in various religions, even Christianity.
Okay.
You know, think about like litanies and stuff. So it involves this like chanting or repeating
specific words or sounds to connect with spiritual energies.
Right.
And there's two main types. Dualistic mantras, which emphasize the separation between the gwus, the worshiper, and the divine, and then monistic mantras, which aim for unity.
Okay. So it's like choosing different paths to reach the same destination.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And he has a really interesting warning here.
Okay.
He cautions against using mantras from traditions that you're not familiar with.
Oh, okay.
He says it's like trying to speak a language you don't understand. You might be saying the words, but you're not really communicating.
Yeah, it's like, why try to order sushi in French? You're probably not going to get what you want. So his point is, it's not just about the words themselves. It's about the consciousness you bring to them.
The understanding.
The understanding and intention.
Right.
The intent.
Behind the practice.
Yeah.
He even critiques the use of prayer wheels. You know, like suggesting they can become a form of mindless repetition.
Right, yeah.
If you're not fully present.
If it's not engaged to.
And engaged. So it's not just about going through the motions. It's about putting your heart and soul into it.
Absolutely.
Right.
And this is where things get a little...
Okay.
Well, let's just say Bardon doesn't shy away from, like, potential downsides of certain practices.
Okay.
So he shares this story about a specific letter mysticism practice that involves focusing on the feet.
Wait, what? Focusing on your feet?
Yeah, it sounds weird, right?
Yeah.
But he claims this method can lead to all sorts of problems, like unnatural blood flow, psychological imbalances.
Oh, wow.
Even mental disturbances.
Really?
Yeah, like he's saying...
So it's a warning
to
approach these practices with caution.
And like a healthy dose of skepticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, don't just jump into something without understanding the risks and benefits.
Right. So he's advocating for a balanced approach.
Yes.
Integrating these esoteric practices with personal growth.
With ethical awareness.
Ethical awareness, yeah.
And a deep understanding of the principles involved.
So he's not saying don't do these practices.
Right.
He's saying...
Be smart about it.
Be smart about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the safe way to approach Quabbalistic magic?
Well, so he defines Quabbalistic magic as the preparation of body, soul, and spirit to use letters creatively.
Okay.
He compares it to the words of creation spoken by God, using the tetragrammaton, Jod, He, Vo, He, as the key to unlocking this cosmic language.
Okay.
But he's very clear. You don't just jump into this stuff.
You need some training before you start wielding these cosmic forces.
Yeah.
It's like getting your...
It's like getting your magical license before you go driving a spaceship or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he outlines the importance of what he calls quadrupolar training.
Okay.
Which is like developing your spirit, soul, and body before you attempt to like use these, you know.
Right. So it's like building a strong foundation.
Yeah.
Before you construct a skyscraper.
Exactly. So how do we even begin this training? Well, he provides this step-by-step approach.
Okay.
And it starts with what he calls the mysticism of letters.
Okay.
And this involves working with each letter of the alphabet, starting with A, and progressing through the entire alphabet.
Right.
And he assigns each letter a specific color.
Okay.
And connects it to one of the four elements.
It's just like learning a whole new alphabet.
Yeah.
Cosmic alphabet.
Exactly.
Right.
And the way that you learn it is fascinating.
Okay. So you visualize the letter in its corresponding color. You then expand it mentally until it fills like the room.
Okay.
And then the entire universe. You feel its corresponding elemental quality. Okay. Whether it's the fiery energy of fire or the flowing nature of water.
Right.
And then you condense it back down.
Okay.
And bring it all back into yourself.
Wow, that sounds like a really powerful visualization exercise.
It is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He instructs you to connect each letter to specific organs and body parts.
Okay.
So it's almost like a form of energy healing.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Okay.
Using your consciousness to direct energy and awareness to different areas of your body.
So it's not just understanding these letters intellectually.
Yeah.
It's embodying them.
You got it.
Yeah.
And he says you might experience different sensations during these exercises.
So.
You might feel warmth, tingling, maybe even some discomfort. But he's very clear that these are like natural physiological responses, not mystical experiences in and of themselves. He wants you to like stay grounded and aware of what's happening in your body.
I like how he keeps it real.
Yeah, totally.
There's no like mystical mumbo jumbo, just clear instructions.
Yeah, that's what makes Bardon so unique. Yeah. He's bridging this gap between esoteric knowledge and like everyday experience.
Okay, so we've got our cosmic alphabet down. What's next?
Okay, so remember those 10 Quabbalistic keys?
The Sephiroth.
The Sephiroth, yeah. Well, he explains that they represent like original divine ideas, the blueprints of creation. And he emphasizes that in Quabbalah, numbers are laws.
Okay, so numbers aren't just quantities. They're like
cosmic codes.
Yeah, cosmic codes.
You know, and to like really drive this point home, he connects these 10 keys to our 10 fingers and toes. It's like he's saying, look, these universal forces are literally within you, waiting to be unlocked.
Wow, it's like we're walking around with the secrets of the universe.
I know, right?
At our fingertips.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the key to unlocking these secrets, according to Bardon, is the fourfold key.
Okay.
The tetragrammaton.
Right, and he calls it the key of realization.
Okay.
And he outlines like 4 different...
This is where it gets really interesting, right?
Yeah.
This is where we can...
This was where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, this is where we can start to see how we can actually use this knowledge to create change in our lives.
Right. He explains that we can use this fourfold key to work with what he calls the Akasa principle.
Okay.
And think of the Akasa principle as like the source of all creation, the realm of pure potential. And using this fourfold key, we can tap into this potential and influence the mental, astral, and material planes.
Wait, so you're saying we can use this key to influence like our thoughts, our emotions, even physical events?
That's what he's suggesting, yeah.
Wow.
But he's also very clear that it's not about like manipulating reality or bending it to our will.
Right.
It's about aligning ourselves with universal laws and using these powers for good, you know, for personal growth and for the betterment of ourselves and others.
So it's like we're working with the natural flow of the universe, not against it.
Precisely, yeah.
Wow, this is starting to sound like real magic.
It is, but it's a magic that requires responsibility, awareness, and a deep understanding of the forces that we're working with.
Okay, so we've got this fourfold key, which sounds, you know, pretty amazing. Are there any other keys we need to know about?
There are.
Okay.
So he introduces what he calls the twofold and the threefold keys.
Okay.
And the twofold key operates on the mental plane.
Okay.
And he calls somebody skilled in its use a formula magician.
A formula magician. What does that mean?
It means that they can use specific combinations of 2 letters to create effects in the mental realm.
Oh, okay.
So it's like using a...
So it's like mental programming.
Yeah.
But with a
Quabbalistic twist.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the threefold key operates on what's called the astral plane, which is the realm of emotions, intuition, and dreams. So by using specific combinations of 3 letters, you can like influence your emotional state, enhance your intuition, even interact with astral beings.
Whoa, hold on. Astral beings, that sounds a little out there.
I know, right? But remember, we're talking about Quabbalah here. This is an ancient system that explores like the hidden dimensions of reality.
This is all so much to take in.
I know.
You've just scratched the surface here.
We have, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Like we're uncovering these secrets one layer at a time.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get more fascinating from here.
Okay, so my mind is officially blown.
I know, right?
We've got this cosmic language and secret keys and the ability to influence like different planes of existence.
It's a lot.
It's almost too much to process.
I know. It's like we've stumbled into this hidden world of possibilities. But remember, Bardon's all about taking things one step at a time.
Right.
We've laid the groundwork now. Let's explore some of the practical applications.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Of this knowledge.
Where do we even begin?
Well, we've already touched on the mysticism of letters.
Right.
Which is like a a foundational practice in his system.
Right, the cosmic alphabet.
Yeah.
We visualize the letters and expand them and feel their elemental qualities. It's like a full body immersion into the energy of each letter.
Exactly. It's not just about like memorizing correspondences. It's about experiencing them directly.
Right.
And this leads us to another fascinating aspect of this practice.
Okay.
Connecting each letter to specific organs and body parts.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like acupuncture.
Uh-huh.
But instead of needles, we're using our consciousness to direct energy and awareness.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
And Bardon suggests that this practice can promote like healing and self-knowledge by focusing our attention on different parts of our body.
Right.
We can become more aware of subtle sensations and energetic blockages.
Right.
It's like we're tuning into the wisdom of our own bodies.
It's amazing how he blends these esoteric practices with what we might call mindfulness or somatic awareness.
Yeah.
It's like he's taking this ancient wisdom and making it relevant for modern life.
Uh-huh. And speaking of ancient wisdom, let's talk about those Quabbalistic keys again.
Okay.
So we've got the fourfold key, which we know is all about tapping into the Ikasa principle and influencing different planes of existence.
Right.
But Bardon doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He also introduces the twofold and the threefold keys, each with its own.
So it's like having a whole set of magical tools at our disposal.
Exactly.
But I'm still a little fuzzy on how these keys actually work.
Oh, okay.
Can you give us some concrete examples?
Of course. So let's start with the twofold key, which operates on the mental plane.
Okay.
And Bardon gives the example of using specific letter combinations to overcome like negative thoughts or limiting beliefs.
Okay.
It's like using a mental code to reprogram your mind.
Oh, okay.
For greater positivity and self-empowerment.
So it's like hacking your own mental software.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And then the threefold key, which works on the astral plane, can be used to enhance your intuition. Connect with your dreams. Imagine using like specific letter combinations to tap into your subconscious mind and receive guidance from your inner wisdom.
So that's like having a direct line to your higher self.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing how these seemingly simple combinations of letters can have such profound effects.
They can.
Yeah.
And remember, these are just a few examples. He encourages us to like explore these connections further, to experiment and discover new applications based on our own understanding and intuition.
So it's like he's saying, here are the keys, now go unlock your own potential.
Exactly.
This is all so exciting. But I also remember his warnings about the potential dangers of certain practices.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, it's like he's saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's very clear that these practices are not toys. They're powerful tools that should be approached with respect.
Right.
Caution and a deep understanding of the principles involved.
So it's not just about knowing the techniques. It's about developing
the wisdom
to use them wisely and ethically.
Exactly. And this brings us back to his emphasis on personal development.
Right.
You know, he's not just teaching us how to work with these forces.
Right.
He's guiding us on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. He's saying, before you try to change the world first, learn to master yourself.
Right. It's like that that ancient Greek aphorism, know thyself.
Exactly. And Bardon provides like a roadmap for this inner journey.
Yeah.
Starting with the mysticism of letters.
Right.
And progressing through increasingly advanced practices. He guides us through this process of purifying our thoughts and emotion, our actions.
Right.
Cultivating virtues like patience, humility, and compassion.
Right.
It's like he's saying the true magic lies in becoming the best version of yourself.
So it's not just about gaining magical powers.
Yeah.
It's about becoming a better human being.
Exactly. And this is where Bardon's teachings really resonate with me.
Yeah.
You know, he's not offering like a quick fix or a shortcut to enlightenment.
Right.
He's presenting this path of self-mastery and spiritual evolution, a journey of aligning our will with the divine will.
It's a really profound message, and it makes me wonder,
Yeah.
how did Bardon even discover all of this? Was he some kind of mystical prodigy?
Well, you know, Bardon doesn't go into great detail about his personal life, but he does mention that he received some of these teachings from a spiritual master. He talks about being initiated into a secret order and receiving instructions from a higher being.
Wow.
It's almost like he's saying this knowledge has been passed down.
Right, like a secret lineage of wisdom keepers. But it also makes me wonder, if this knowledge is so powerful, why share it at all? Wouldn't it be safer to keep it hidden?
That's a great question. And I think Bardon addresses this indirectly.
Yeah.
You know, he talks about the importance of using this knowledge for good.
Right.
For helping humanity evolve spiritually.
So it's not about hoarding knowledge or using it for personal gain. It's about spreading the light.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Yeah, it's about empowering others
right.
to awaken their own potential and contribute to this collective evolution of consciousness.
It's a beautiful vision. It's really inspiring to think that we can be part of something so much bigger than ourselves.
Totally.
Okay, so we've got this amazing system of knowledge. We're working on our personal development. We're committed to using this power for good.
Yeah.
What's next on our Quabbalistic journey?
Well, so Bardon goes on to explore the concept of Quabbalistic magic in more depth, explaining how we can use specific letter combinations and divine names to create effects on different planes of existence.
Right.
He talks about working with the elements, interacting with astral beings, and even influencing events in the material world.
Right.
But remember, he always emphasizes the importance of ethical considerations and aligning our will with the divine will.
Right.
He's not teaching us how to become like sorcerers
right.
or manipulate others for our own selfish desires. He's guiding us toward this path of spiritual mastery and selfless service.
It's a really powerful message, and it makes me realize that Quabbalah is so much more than just a system of symbols and correspondences. It's like a way of life, a philosophy, a path of self-discovery and spiritual transformation.
You're absolutely right, and Bardon's book is just a starting point. He encourages us to continue exploring, to delve deeper into the mysteries of Quabbalah, and to integrate these teachings into our own unique spiritual journeys. It's like he's a wise guide pointing the way and saying, the adventure is yours to create.
Yeah. Now, speaking of adventure, Bardon also delves into the concept of what he calls analogous connections between letters and various powers, virtues, and abilities. And he gives us like a detailed breakdown of each letter's significance on different planes of existence. Almost like a lexicon for this cosmic language.
It's fascinating, right? It's like he's revealing this hidden code that unlocks the potential within each letter, and he shows us how different letters can influence our thoughts, emotions, even physical experiences. It's almost like having a...
So it's not just about understanding the letters themselves.
That vast network of associations and correspondences.
Exactly. That they represent.
And what's really exciting is that he encourages us to explore these connections further, to develop our own understanding and even discover new applications based on our own experiences and intuitions. It's like he's not just giving us a set of rules, he's inviting us to become co-creators in this process.
Totally,
This is where his emphasis on personal development really shines through. It's not about accumulating knowledge. It's about cultivating the wisdom to apply that knowledge in a creative and ethical way.
Absolutely. And this leads us to another fascinating aspect of his teachings, the use of divine names in Quabbalistic practice. He emphasizes the importance of understanding both the quality and quantity of these forces. And he highlights the potential for imbalance if these aspects are not carefully considered. So it's not just about invoking these names willy-nilly. It's about understanding
their unique properties and using them with discernment and respect.
Exactly.
And he goes on to reveal like this secret key
Oh, wow.
to understanding the 72 genii of the Mercury zone.
Okay.
Providing both their qualitative and quantitative names.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know this is a rare and valuable insight,
yeah.
as many traditional texts only hint at these hidden correspondences. So
he's giving us a direct line to these powerful forces.
Exactly.
But with that power comes responsibility, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's very clear that this knowledge should not be abused.
Right.
He emphasizes that true Quabbalistic practice involves working with these names letter by letter, carefully attuning to their individual properties, and integrating them gradually, you know?
So it's a meticulous process.
It is.
It requires patience and focus and deep reverence for the forces involved.
And reverence, yeah. He's not just sharing this information for intellectual curiosity, you know? He's providing tools for genuine spiritual development with an emphasis on ethical considerations and self-mastery.
It's amazing how he manages to balance the unveiling of these secrets with a strong emphasis on
ethical responsibility.
Ethical responsibility, yes. He's not just throwing this powerful knowledge out into the world. He's
carefully guiding us.
Yeah, he's guiding us.
On how to use it wisely.
Exactly.
And this brings us to another important point that he makes.
Okay.
You know, the need for balance and integration.
Okay.
He's not advocating for a life of pure mysticism or detachment from the world. He's encouraging us to integrate these spiritual practices into our everyday lives to find harmony between the inner and outer worlds. Yeah.
He emphasizes that true spiritual development involves engaging with the world in a more conscious and compassionate way, using our knowledge and abilities to make a positive difference.
So it's not about escaping reality. It's about transforming it from within.
You got it. Yeah. And this transformation involves all aspects of our being, you know? Our thoughts, emotions, actions, even our physical bodies. Bardon provides this holistic system that addresses every level of our existence, helping us to cultivate balance, harmony, and spiritual wholeness.
Okay, so we're integrating these practices into our lives. We're working on our personal development. We're using our knowledge for good. What's next on this Quabbalistic adventure?
Well, so Bardon goes on to explore more advanced practices, including like the use of talismans, the creation of magical circles, and even the evocation of spirits.
But he's always careful to emphasize the potential dangers involved. And the need for like thorough preparation and ethical awareness. He's not advocating for like reckless experimentation or the pursuit of power for its own sake. He's guiding us toward this path of spiritual mastery and selfless service, where our actions are aligned with the highest good of all beings.
It's a path that requires both courage and humility. You know, a willingness to embrace the unknown while remaining grounded in ethical principles. It's a journey.
It's both exciting and challenging.
Yeah, that's both exciting and challenging, but ultimately a journey of self-discovery and spiritual evolution.
Exactly. And Bardon makes it clear that this journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires dedication, perseverance, and a willingness to confront our own limitations and shadows. But he also assures us that we're not alone on this path. We have the guidance of spiritual masters, the support of like-minded seekers, and most importantly, the indwelling presence of the divine within us. So it's a message of hope and empowerment, reminding us that we have everything we need to awaken our true potential and fulfill our spiritual destiny.
It's incredible to think that even after all this, we're still just scratching the surface.
I know, right?
Of Quabbalah. There's always like more to learn, more to explore.
That's the beauty of it. Quabbalah is like this vast interconnected web of knowledge, and as you pull on one thread, you discover a whole new tapestry of understanding. But he emphasizes that true understanding doesn't just come from like reading books. It comes from putting these teachings into practice. From experiencing them directly.
It's like learning to ride a bike. You can read all the manuals you want.
Exactly.
But until you actually get on and start pedaling, you won't truly understand
get it.
how it works.
And Bardon offers like a whole range of practices to help us integrate this knowledge.
Okay.
From simple breathing exercises to complex rituals involving the elements and divine names.
Wow.
He even provides detailed instructions on how to create talismans and consecrate magical tools.
It's like he's giving us this hands-on guide.
A hands-on guide
to working with
the forces of the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing how he blends this ancient wisdom with these like practical step-by-step instructions. He's not just talking about these abstract concepts. He's giving us the tools.
He's giving us the tools to apply them. To use them in our lives.
Apply them.
Our own lives.
That's what makes his work so valuable.
Yeah. He's empowering us to become active participants in our own spiritual development, rather than just passive observers.
And he's always reminding us that this power should be used responsibly, ethically, and for the benefit of all beings.
For the benefit of all,
right. It's not about like personal gain, or manipulating others.
Yeah,
it's about aligning ourselves with the divine will and using this knowledge to create a more
harmonious and enlightened world.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Bardon makes it clear that this path is not always easy.
Right.
There will be challenges and setbacks and moments of doubt.
Sure.
But he also assures us that we have the inner strength and guidance to overcome these obstacles.
Right.
He encourages us to cultivate virtues like patience, perseverance, and humility, reminding us that true spiritual growth takes time and effort.
It's such a message of hope.
It is.
And empowerment. He's like, look, this path might be challenging, but you got this. Trust yourself. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
And never give up on your journey.
Never give up.
Of self-discovery.
And he reminds us that we're not alone on this journey.
Right.
We have the support of a spiritual lineage that stretches back centuries, and we have the guidance of our own inner wisdom, which he believes is a reflection of the divine spark within each of us.
It's beautiful to think that we all have this potential for greatness.
We do.
Within us.
We do.
Just waiting to be unlocked.
Just waiting to be unlocked. And Bardon provides us with the keys to unlock this potential, to awaken the divine spark within and manifest our highest aspirations.
Right.
But he also emphasizes that this power should never be used for selfish purposes or to harm others.
Right.
He warns that any attempt to misuse this knowledge will ultimately backfire, leading to suffering and spiritual stagnation.
So it's not just about knowing the right techniques or formulas.
Right. It's about cultivating
a pure heart.
A pure heart and a selfless intention. It's about aligning our actions with the principles of love, compassion, and wisdom. Exactly. And Bardon believes that this alignment is the key to true spiritual fulfillment and the realization of our highest potential.
He's not just teaching us how to become magicians.
Right.
He's guiding us toward this path of where we transcend
the path of enlightenment,
our limitations, and realize our oneness.
Our oneness with the divine.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a powerful vision.
It makes me realize that Quabbalah is so much more than just a system of magic. It's a path of self-discovery.
It is.
A journey of transformation. And ultimately a way of life.
You've summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
And Bardon's book is just the beginning.
Right.
It's an invitation to explore, to experiment, and to discover our own unique path within this vast and ancient tradition.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired.
Me too.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about, and I'm excited to continue exploring the world of Quabbalah.
Me too. And I have a feeling this is just the beginning of our adventure.
It certainly feels that way.
Yeah.
So to our listener, if you're feeling inspired to delve deeper into the mysteries of Quabbalah, remember Bardon's advice. Start slowly. Be patient.
And
always prioritize personal development. And remember, true power comes not from controlling external forces, but from mastering yourself.
Mastering yourself.
And aligning your will.
Aligning your will.
With the divine will.
With the divine.
The journey might be challenging.
It might be challenging.
But the rewards are immeasurable.
The rewards are immeasurable.
So trust yourself, trust the process.
Trust the process.
And keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
You never know what incredible discoveries await you.
You never know.
On the path of Quabbalah.